everyone, welcome back to At the Stove with Audrey Grove. I'm Audrey and I'm so glad that you've joined me in my kitchen today. Today we're making a really healthy muffin for the new year. And by the way, Happy New Year, Happy 2021. And I think it will promise to be a better year. So back to what we're making, Morning Glory muffins. I don't know if you've ever had them before, but today's version is extra healthy because I figured let's start off the new year on the right foot. So let's get cooking. Okay, so I already started. I preheated my oven, which is slowly getting up to 350. And in my bowl, I put 2.5 cups of whole wheat flour. Nothing too exciting. And then we're gonna add baking soda and baking powder. So let's do that together. Baking powder. So we're gonna add a half a teaspoon of each. Okay, oops, a little over there. And baking soda, half a teaspoon. Good. And salt. We're gonna add a teaspoon of salt. I know that my favorite coffee shop makes these muffins, but I don't think they're quite as healthy as this recipe, so I always like to make homemade when I can. But I don't know about you, if you've been home for the last 10 months during this pandemic, if you've been cooking a lot or not, I have. And even though I still love it, baking is really my joy. Okay, so I just mixed that around. Oh, one thing I forgot, cinnamon. Hang on. Oh, cinnamon. I love cinnamon. It always just, when I smell it, it reminds me of the holidays. Okay, so cinnamon. I'm gonna remix that with my fork. I just like to do that. It's just easier when you're mixing everything all together that your dry ingredients are all mixed in nicely, not kind of clumped together. Alrighty, beautiful. Now we're gonna add our wet ingredients. So this is where I've had to improvise a little bit today. I've been trying to only go to the supermarket once a week, and that day is Tuesday. Today, when we're filming this, is Monday. So what don't I have that the recipe calls for? Recipe calls for craisins or raisins. I don't have those. So I took some dates and chopped them up. The recipe also called for 2 eggs. I'm all out of eggs. So I Googled on my phone, what could you use instead of eggs? So some of the things that you can use as an egg substitute are applesauce, but that's already one of the ingredients in our muffins. So another thing is flax meal, ground flax meal from flax seeds that you add with water and you let sit. So that's what I did. So this is the equivalent of 2 eggs. All right, here we go. So we're gonna take the zest of 1 lemon that I already zested, so it's just, I'm sorry, not lemon, orange. This really is filled with all good things, this recipe. I can't wait for you to see the finished product. Okay. So now we need 1/3 cup of orange juice. Again, I did not have any orange juice, but I had some oranges, so I squeezed some fresh orange juice. So let's put that in there. So now we need 1 cup of applesauce. So let's put that in there. And the applesauce really helps to keep this recipe nice and moist and sweet, because you'll notice there is no sugar. Okay, applesauce going in. Just gonna take my little spoon/spatula and get every last bit. Good. Good, good, good. Now we need, I'm gonna take this back, a half a cup of honey. So what I like to do is just spray a little bit in my measuring cup when I'm using honey or molasses so that it doesn't stick. This is native honey from right here in Connecticut. So let's see, half a cup. So this is also in the place of sugar. Ooh, using the wrong thing there. Okay. So let's get that in. And I'm gonna take my spatula again and just try to get every last bit of that honey. Okay. Next, we are putting in a half a cup of molasses. I don't often cook with molasses, so I was excited that this recipe called for molasses. Let's see, I'm gonna put this under hot water and see if I can open it. Yes, okay. All right, so again, I'm gonna just put another little spray in here and half a cup of molasses. And I'm just gonna check that. Okay, it does say half a cup. Okay. And let's get that in there. So far, all really good for you, natural ingredients. Let's get all this gooey molasses out of here. Okay. And our quote, 2 eggs. So today we don't have those eggs. I made this flax meal egg. So this is the equivalent of 2 eggs. And basically it's just 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed and 3 tablespoons of water. So if you want to see what that looks like. Okay, and it's going in. And let's get all of that out. Okay. And I'm just gonna quickly do a little preliminary mix. So another super healthy ingredient that we're using today is grated carrots. So this said they called for 2 cups, and I'm gonna say this was probably the equivalent of 6 cup carrots. And I had to laugh this morning when I was prepping all the food. I decided, oh, I'm not gonna pull out the food processor for just 2 cups of carrots. It's a pain in the neck and you gotta clean it all. So I used the hand grater. I hadn't done that in a long time. That's a lot of work. But thankfully, I didn't cut myself at all, which can always happen when you use those little hand graters. Okay, so here comes 2 cups of fresh shredded carrots. And I'm gonna, again, give it a little preliminary mix here. And then I'm gonna add, instead of the raisins or craisins, some diced dates, which is also gonna give it some nice sweetness. So now we're gonna mix it up. And the carrots are blending in nicely. This is like so super healthy. Very proud of myself today. Hope you'll try to make these muffins. Maybe share them with your neighbors. Start out the new year healthy. And then maybe by March we can get back to the more fattening things that we really love. Chocolate, cannolis, ice cream. I could go on and on. Okay, so This is completely mixed and it just kind of looks like a brown blob. And I'm going to take my muffin tin pan. So here's another substitution I had to make today. I didn't have the muffin liners, so I'm going to go ahead and spray. Oh, and I see as I'm spraying, I'm probably going to run out of spray. I'm going to have to add that to my shopping list for tomorrow. Yep. Let's see. But there's always a substitution, so don't worry. Oh, can get a little more out. I think I'm going to have to find my substitution. Nothing left. So I'm going to take some cooking oil, not olive oil, and let me grab a little brush. And let's see, need a little cup. I'm going to pour a little bit in, and then I'm just going to brush it around the edges and the bottoms, just so the muffins don't stick. Okay. A little bit more. Just going to kind of reheat all of these since the spray was pretty little. Okay, good. They are all set. All right, so I'm going to take a, let's use a 1/4 inch measuring cup to fill these. And we're gonna fill these 3/4 of the way. So let's get rid of some of those dirty dishes. The cleanup crew will come and do it while they're baking. Guess who the cleanup crew is? You got it, me. Or maybe I could talk my cameraman into it. Oh, he's shaking his head. Okay. So I think these are like a really nice thing to have as a snack during the afternoon maybe, or even to have for breakfast or with breakfast. And what I will try to do once they're all filled is I want to make sure that they're all equally filled so that it bakes equally, which I'll go back and do. Let's tap that down a little and maybe just put in a little more in a few so that they're equal. Let's see. They smell really good for being so healthy. One thing that I've learned through the pandemic, especially, but you know, as each year passes, how important it is to really take care of yourself. And by doing that, one of the great ways to take care of yourself is to eat healthy. So if you eat these muffins, you'll be eating healthy. So here they are. And I'm gonna put them in the oven at 350 for 22 to 25 minutes until a toothpick inserted comes out clean. And we'll come back to show you the finished product. All right, we're back. My house smells delicious and healthy. So I pulled the muffins out. Let's see if they're still hot. Yep, they are, but here they are. And I'm going to take them out of the muffin pan, you know, my famous way that I always do, which works every time. So they're a little denser than your typical muffin, but remember, we're going for health here, not for looks necessarily. Let me just wash my hands a little. Okay, so there's the muffins. for my cameraman. And I have one on a plate, and I'm gonna take a bite. Oh, they look good. They're very good. Delicious, healthy. You're getting a helping of carrots, apples, dates, all good things. No oil except for what we use to grease the pan. I'd say all around this is a winner. What you want to remember with these muffins is to bake them just a little bit longer because they are so dense. The insides will be a little bit wet if you take them out too soon. So the baking time says 22 to 25 minutes. Maybe make that 25 to 27 minutes or even 28 minutes. Alrighty, well, I want to thank you for tuning in today. It's been really nice to spend a little time together. I think about you often. I hope that you're well, you're safe, and remember that food is love that you can taste. Take care, friends.